I'll sing a song. I was testing audio, that's why. आज अंधेरी में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दिए भगवान। आज अंधेरी में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दिए भगवान। भक्त खड़े हैं हमारा दिखाने, भगवान राह दिखाने। भक्त खड़े हमारा दिखाने, भगवान राह दिखाने। कदम कदम पर किरण बिछाने, भगवान किरण बिछाने। इन अखियन को प्रभु करारे, इन अखियन को प्रभु करारे। ज्योति से पहचान, ज्योति से पहचान। आज अंधेरी में हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। हम तो ऐ संतान तिहारे, प्रभु संतान तिहारे। हम तो ऐ संतान तिहारे, प्रभु संतान तिहारे। तेरे दया के हम अधिकारे, प्रभु है हम अधिकारे। दुनिया होए सुखी हमार, दुनिया होए सुखी हमारी। हे सारे वरदान, हे सारे वरदान। जंजीर में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरी में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। Okay, good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to go ahead and start off by standing up for me. I do this every time. Everybody sits down, they get comfortable. I'm like, nah, you got to stand back up for a second. Go ahead and take a flower in your hands as well. And as we join together, devotees, I ask that we all come together as we clasp our hands and close our eyes. With your eyes closed, I want you to take some time to remove any thoughts from your mind, any worldly attachments, any negative emotions, or any stress that's causing you pain or suffering. While your mind is clearing, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax your body Relax your back, drop your shoulders, relax your neck, your forehead. With your mind being tranquil, I want you to focus on a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you. The one that helps you concentrate and one that helps you focus. And join together with me as we chant our opening prayers. Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavasyam Miram Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Pekena Bhunjata Mankudhakasya Swadhanam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vavidvishavahe Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. We offer prayers for the Vimata as we bless and sanctify the seat onto which we sit. Om Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastane Mandite Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamaswame. Om Prithvi Tvaya Drata Loka Devi Tvam Vishnuna Drata Tvam Chadharya Mam Devi Pavitram Kuruchasanam. Om Shri Prithvi Devaya Namaham. You're going to take your flowers, place them down on the altar, and go ahead and take your seats. Okay. I need to move it away so people don't realize how out of shape I am. Breathing hard into the microphone. You're going to take water into your right hand first, and wash your hands. Om Hasta Prakshalanam Samarpayami Govindaya Namaham. We sip water 3 times to purify the body. So you're going to take your right hand and make sure you put your pointer finger, yes, and your thumb together, and you put that on top. You're drinking when I say swaha, okay? So don't drink it just yet. Om Amrito Pastaramasi Swaha. Om Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. Om Satyam Yashaha Shri Mai Shri Shrayatam Swaha. And you're going to wash your hands again. Om Apavitra Pavitrava Sarvavashtam Gatopiva. Rub your hands together. Yasmerit Pundari Kaksham Sabhayabhyam Tara Shuchiyom. Om. I'll place some chandan on your foreheads. Om Chandanasya Punyam Pavitram Papanashanam. I used to be able to do that too. Aparam Harade Nityam Lakshmi Stishtate Saravadaum. You should move this hair out of the way. Yeah. Just on my forehead. Om. We'll take some water into our left hands now. And then using our right hand ring finger, we're going to commence with Ang Sparsh. We're going to bless the various parts of our body. We touch our lips first. Om Wang Measiastu. Do this and touch your lips. Good. We say, O Lord, by thy grace, may every tongue be blessed with the power of speech. We touch our nose. Om Nasorame Pranorastu. Very good. O Lord, we ask may your nostrils be blessed with healthy, vital air. We touch our eyes. Om Akshorame Chakshorastu. We ask, O Lord, may my eyes be blessed with the perfect power of vision. Our ears. Om Kanyorame Shurotamastu. We ask, O Lord, may my ears be blessed with the power of hearing. Our arms. Om Bahorame Balamastu. We ask, O Lord, may my arms be blessed with strength. Our legs. Om Urvorame Ojovastu. We ask, O Lord, may my legs be blessed with vitality. You rub your hands together and you go over your entire body. Om Marishtani Miyanyani Tanustanawame Sahasantu. We ask, O Lord, may all the other parts of my body be safe from harm, rendering them healthy and sound for life's daily work. We'll take some more flowers in our hands. Any color is fine. And devotees, we all join together now as we commence in chanting the most powerful Gayatri Mantra. Om Magakshe Varade Devi Akshari Brahma Vadini Gayatri Jagat Madhar Vishwayoni Namostute Om Bhuri Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitura Bharenyam Bharaguni Vasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayata Om Bhuri Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bharagoni Vasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayata Om Bhuri Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bharagoni Vasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayata Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Prem Sabur Gayatri Mata Ki Jai. You place a flower down on the altar. We'll take some red flowers next. And devotees, we join together now as we offer prayers to that remover, that destroyer, and that creator of all obstacles in our life. We join together as we offer prayers to Lord Ganesh. Om Shri Ganganapataye Namah. Om Yajananam Bhuta Ganadhi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palachara Bhakshanam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam. At this time, we'll commence with puja up front. I ask that members of the Kirtan group offer one bhajan dedicated to Lord Ganesh. Place your flower down right.
Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva Jai Ganesh Deva Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva Jai Ganesh Deva लड्डुअन का भोग लगे संत करे सेवा संत करे सेवा लड्डुअन का भोग लगे संत करे सेवा जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा जय गणेश देवा एक दंत दयावंत चार भुजाधारी मात के सिंदूर सोहे मूस की सवारी दुखियों के दुख हरत परमानंद देवा जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा जय गणेश देवा जो तेरा ध्यान करो ज्ञान मिले उसको छोड़ तुझे यार भला जाऊँ मैं किसको हे देवा कृपा करो कष्ट हरो मेरा जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश गणेश देवा जय गणेश देवा.
Testing. Devotees, may we all join together as we offer our final pratana, our final praise to Lord Ganesh. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Raksha Raksha Ganadhaksha Rakshatre Lokya Rakshakara Bhaktanam Bhayam Kartha Trata Bhava Bhavaranavara. Om Shriman Mahaganadipate Namam Prem Samur Ganesh Bhagwane Ki Jai. Place your flower down. If we have it, we'll take one white, one pink, and one red flower. Yep, everybody just takes one. Excuse me. Imagine being right next to it. Oh wait, no. I'm jumping the gun yet. No, we're good. I will acclimate, I always do. I think that's part of like the pundit resume profile job description. We join together now, devotees, as we offer prayers to that mother of knowledge, that mother of learning, and that mother of wisdom in this universe. We offer prayers to Mother Saraswati. Om Saraswati Mahabhagye Vidye Kamala Lochane Vidyarupe Vishalakshi Vidyam Dehi Namostute. Om Saraswati Namastobhyam Varare Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Om Mahasaraswati Namaham. You're going to take this lighter, Ishan. You're going to light this diya that's right here in front of Mother Lakshmi. Just keep holding on to your flowers, though. You're good. And go ahead and light it. We join together, devotees, as we offer prayers to that mother of light in this universe, that mother of wealth as well. We offer prayers to Om Lakshmi Karotu Kalyanam Arogyam Dana Sampada Mama Shatru Vinashaya Deepa Jyotir Namostute. Om Namaste Astu Mahamai Shri Pite Surapujate Shankha Chakra Garahaste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Namaste Garurarudhi Kula Sura Bhayankari Sarva Papa Harim Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Sarvagye Sarvavarade Sarvadusha Bhayankari Sarvadukha Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Adyantarahite Devi Adi Shakti Maheshwari Yoga Yoga Sambhote Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Stula Sukshma Maharaudri Mahashakti Mahodare Mahapapa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Padmasanastate Devi Parabrahma Swarupini Parameshin Sagane Matar Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Shvetambardhare Devi Nanalankari Bhushite Jagatastite Jagane Matar Mahalakshmi Namostute. Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Mahalakshmi Namaham. And finally, devotees, we join together as we offer praise to that universal mother, that destroyer of all evils in our life. We join together as we offer praise to Adi Shakti Durga Mata. Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalini Durgakshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Putarate Nihardini जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोस्तुते या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमायेति संहिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु श्रद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तुष्टिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दयारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. As we pray to Mother Durga, we say, O Durga Mata, Thou art the universal mother, and we, your children, worship you in many forms. O Ma, we see you as Buddhi, wisdom, Lakshmi, prosperity, Shakti, energy, Shraddha, faith, Shanti, peace, Tushti, contentment, and Daya, compassion. And as we pray to you, O Ma, Namastasye, 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 Namo Namaha, as we pray to you, O Ma, we bow to thee again and again. Devotees, we offer prayers to Mother Durga in the form of the universal mother. Matri Rupe, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Matri Rupena Samstita, Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah, Dehi Saubhagyam Narogyam, Dehi Me Paramam Sukham, Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi, Yeshu Dehi Dvashu Jahi. At this time, devotees, I ask that we have one or two bhajans dedicated to either Mother Saraswati, Mother Lakshmi, or Adi Shakti Durga Mata as we commence with our puja up front.
Jai Jai Mata Saraswati Mata Jai Shubhadayani Varadayani Hansavahini Paramadasana Veena Pushtakadharani Mata Veena Pushtakadharani Mata Jai Jai Mata Saraswati Mata Jai Shubhadayani Varadayani Hansavahini Paramasana Veena Pustakadharani Mata Veena Pustakadharani Mata Tu hi Durga, tu hi Kali, tu hi Mata Parvati. Tu hi Durga, tu hi Kali, tu hi Mata Parvati. Sakala Jagat ke Palan Karani Viryapuri Dayani. Jai Jai Mata Saraswati Mata Jai Shubhadayani Varadayani Hansavahini Paramatadama Veena Pustakadharani Mata Veena Pustakadharani Mata Brahma Vishnu Mahesh Shisha Sabha Tere hi Gunagana Kare शिष सब तेरे ही गुणगान करे। हम सबका कल्याण करो माँ विद्या बुद्धि दायनी। जय जय माता सरस्वती माता, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। हंसवाहिनी परमासन माँ, वीणा पुस्तक धारिणी माता। जय जय माता सरस्वती माता, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। हंसवाहिनी परमासन माँ, वीणा पुस्तक धारिणी माता। वीणा पुस्तक धारिणी माता, वीणा पुस्तक धारिणी माता।
मैं हो आया है तेरे द्वार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। मैं हो आया है तेरे द्वार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। मेरे सुन ले पुकार है माँ, मेरे सुन ले पुकार है माँ। ओ मैया नैया पार लगा, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। मैं हो आया है तेरे द्वार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। माथे पे सिंदूर विराजे, धूप दीप नवार चढ़ावे। मैं तो लाया है फूल तेरे द्वार, मैं तो लाया है फूल तेरे द्वार। है मेरी सुन ले पुकार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। मैं हो आया है तेरे द्वार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। जीवन नैया पार लगा दे, चरण कमल में आने वाले। तू ही अंतर्यामी माँ, तू ही अंतर्यामी माँ। हो मैया सुन ले मेरे पुकार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। मैं हो आया है तेरे द्वार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। तू है लक्ष्मी शारदा, तू है विष्णु पत्नी है जग जननी। तू दीन बंधु है माँ, तू दीन बंधु है माँ। हो मैया सुन ले पुकार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। मैं हो आया है तेरे द्वार, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ। मेरे सुन ले पुकार है माँ, मेरे सुन ले पुकार है माँ। ओ मैया नैया पार लगा, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी माँ, ओ जय महालक्ष्मी मेरे माँ।
प्रेम से बोलो सरस्वती माता की जय, प्रेम से बोलो लक्ष्मी माता की जय, प्रेम से बोलो आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। You can take any color flower in your hands at this point. Make sure at least one of them is red, though. Did you say purple? Oh. That's fine color. And devotees, we join together now as we offer. Is it hurting you that bad? Oh, okay. Devotees, we join together now as we offer prayers to the most influential beings in our life. Those beings that dictate when we can celebrate certain events, when we can perform certain duties, even affects the name that we have and the temperament we've been given. We join together as we offer prayers to the Navgraha Devata. Navgraha Devataye Namaham Brahma Murari Tripura Kari Bhanu Shivu Misuto Budhascha Guruscha Shukraha Shanirao Kitoa Sarvengraha Shanti Karam Bhavandhu Sarvengraha Shanti Karam Bhavandhu. You place your flowers on in front of the Navgraha Devata. Hey Mom, you were supposed to sing the Navgraha song. I'll put it out for you for now. Okay. Oh, okay. Anything for your mother.
Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah. 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 Suryaye Namah. Chandramaye Namah. Suryaye Namah. Chandramaye Namah. Chandramaye Namah. Bhaumaye Namah. Chandramaye Namah. Bhaumaye Namah. Bhaumaye Namah. Buddhaye Namah. Bhaumaye Namah. Buddhaye Namah. Buddhaye Namah. Brihaspataye Namah. Buddhaye Namah. Brihaspataye Namah. Brihaspataye Namah. Shukraye Namah. Brihaspataye Namah. Shukraye Namah. Shukraye Namah. Shanicharaye Namah. Shukraye Namah. Shanicharaye Namah. Shanicharaye Namah. Rahave Namah. Shanicharaye Namah. Rahave Namah. Rahave Namah. Ketave Namah. Rahave Namah. Ketave Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah. Suryaye Namah. Bhaskaraye Namah. Suryaye Namah. Bhaskaraye Namah. Bhaskaraye Namah. Adityaye Namah. Bhaskaraye Namah. Adityaye Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah.
with today being Sunday, known as Ravivar devotees, we join together as we offer prayers to that being that exists in the form of the sun and that sustainer of all life on this planet. We join together as we offer praise to Surya Narayan Bhagavan. Om Suryaya Namaha 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 Adideva Namastubhyam Prasiddham Mama Bhashkaram Divakara Namastubhyam Prabhakare Namostute Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Om Prem Savaruna Graha Devata Ki Jai Prem Savuru Surya Narayana Bhagavan Ki Jai. Place your flower down in front of Surya Narayan Bhagavan. Right here. Now, I don't think we have any yellow flowers. I don't see any from my point of view. So if we have some whites, we'll take whites. That's okay. Yellow or white, that's fine. No, it's okay. It's okay. We've got white. Excellent. And we join together now as we offer prayers to that sustainer of all things dharmic, all things righteous in this universe. We join together devotees as we offer praise to Lord Vishnu. Om Shri Vishnuve Namaha. Om Shantankaram Bhujagashairam Bhadmanabham Surisham Vishwadharam Gaganesadrisham Meghavaranam Shubhangam Om Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Bhiradhyanagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Sarvaloke Khanatam Om Sashankha Chakram Sakiritha Kundhalam Sapita Vastram Sarasirubheshanam Sahara Vakshastala Shobhikostumbha Shriyam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam. We join together now, devotees, as we offer praise to the seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu. We offer praise to Lord Rama. Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vidhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. We offer prayers to Mother Sita. Om Jagatasudha Jagajanani Janaki Atashaya Priya Karurani Dhaniki Taki Jukapada Kamala Manao Jasu Kripa Niramal Mati Pao. We offer prayers to Hanuman Swami. Om Manojovam Marutatyulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vathatmadam Vanirayothamukyam Shri Ramarutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramarutam Sharanam Prapadhe. And finally, devotees, we join together as we offer praise to the eighth incarnation of Lord Vishnu. We join together as we offer praise to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Om Dharavinde Naparavindham Mukharavinde Vinibhishrayantam Vatasya Patrasya Puteshrayan Balam Mukundam Manasasmaran Balam Mukundam Manasasmaran Om Krishna Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayati Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Om Vasudevam Sutam Devam कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. At this time, devotees will have 2, maybe 3 bhajans dedicated to Lord Vishnu, Lord Rama, Mother Sita Hanuman Swami, or Bhagwan Shri Krishna to commence with our puja.
मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना. मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना. क्या लेना, क्या लेना, क्या लेना, क्या लेना. मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना. वृंदावन में नटवर नागर, बस गई मेरी गिरधर नाकर. वृंदावन में नटवर नागर, बस गई मेरी गिरधर आकर. हाय वही साचे मीत, जगत से क्या लेना. मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना. क्या लेना, क्या लेना, क्या लेना, क्या लेना. मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना. अदर मुरलिया रस बरसाए, अगनाचे और मनवा गाए. प्राण बना ले गीत, जगत से क्या लेना. मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना. उनके शरण हो सब लुटाया, जगत कारा के प्रभु को पाया. हरि के सब गाए गीत, जगत से क्या लेना. मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना. क्या लेना, क्या लेना, क्या लेना, क्या लेना. मेरे मन में बसे प्रभु प्रीत, जगत से क्या लेना.
Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai. Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai. Gopala Bala Bala Krishna Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai. Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai Rama, Krishna Jai Radha, Krishna Jai. Krishna 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 Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai. Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai Rama, Krishna Jai Radha, Krishna Jai. Bala Krishna 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 Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Rama Krishna Jai, Radha Krishna Jai. Krishna 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 Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Radha Krishna Jai.
Krishna Janika Naam Hai, Gokul Janika Dhyam Hai. Krishna Janika Naam Hai, Gokul Janika Dhyam Hai. Aisa Shri Bhagavan Ko, Aisa Shri Bhagavan Ko, Barambar Pranam Hai, Barambar Pranam Hai. Krishna Janika Naam Hai, Gokul Janika Dhyam Hai. Yashoda Janaki Maiya hai, Nanda Ji Papaya hai. Yashoda Janaki Maiya hai, Nanda Ji Papaya hai. Aisa Shri Gopala Ko, Aisa Shri Gopala Ko, Barambar Pranam Hai, Barambar Pranam Hai. Krishna Janika Naam Hai, Gokul Janika Dhyam Hai. Radha Janaki Gaya Hai, Krishna Ji Kanhaiya Hai. Radha Janaki Gaya Hai, Krishna Ji Kanhaiya Hai. Aisa Shri Ganesham Ko, Aisa Shri Ganesham Ko, Barambar Pranam Hai, Barambar Pranam Hai. Krishna Janika Naam Hai, Gokul Janika Dhyam Hai. Luta Luta Dahi Makanakayo, Gwabala Sankare Ruchadhayo. Luta Luta Dahi Makanakayo, Gwabala Sankare Ruchadhayo. Aisa Leela Dhyam Ko, Aisa Leela Dhyam Ko, Barambar Pranam Hai, Barambar Pranam Hai. Krishna Janika Naam Hai, Gokul Janika Dhyam Hai. Aisa Shri Bhagavan Ko, Aisa Shri Bhagavan Ko, Barambar Pranam Hai, Barambar Pranam Hai. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
प्रेम से बोलो विष्णु भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो सीता माता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो हनुमान स्वामी की जय। प्रेम से बोलो कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। Take some of those purple flowers in your hands. And at this time, devotees, we join together as we offer prayers to that universal Father, that universal Guru, as we offer prayers to that destroyer of all evils in our life and in this universe. We join together as we offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Karapurang Haurang Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagindraram Saravasantam Hirdayardane Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namam Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namam Om Namah Shivaya. You guys can go over to the Shiva Lingam with Mahendra to perform puja unto Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Brahma Murari Surarchitalingam Niramal Bhasita Shombhitalingam Janama Jadukha Vinashakalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Deva Muni Praravarchitalingam Kamadaham Karunakaralingam Ravana Dharpa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Sarvasubhanni Sulepitalingam Buddhi Vivaradhanakaranalingam Siddhasura Suravandhitalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Ganakamahamani Bhushitalingam Vanipati Vishtita Shobhitalingam Dhakshasuyajna Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Kumachandanalepitalingam Pankajahara Sushobhitalingam Sanchita Papa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Devanganarchita Sevitalingam Bhayavata Bhakti Virevachalingam Dinakara सूर्यकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
अष्टधनुपरिवेष्टितलिङ्गं सर्वसम्मूढभावकारणलिङ्गम् अष्टधरीन्द्रविनाशितलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
सुरगुरुसुरवरपूजितलिङ्गं सुरवनपुष्पसदारचितलिङ्गं
परात्परं
परमात्मकलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् लिङ्गष्टकं निरं पुण्यं यः पति शिवसन्निधौ शिवलोकमवाप्नोति शिवेन सह मूर्ति ॐ नमः शिवाय।
हे देवों के देवो महेश दूर सभी के कर दो कलेश। हे देवों के देवो महेश दूर सभी के कर दो कलेश। प्रेम हमारे मन में तो भर दे, निर्मल हमको ऐसा तो कर दे, हम भूले हर देश। हे देवों के देवो महेश दूर सभी के कर दो कलेश। तुम सुखकारी तुम हितकारी, अर्धांगी में है शक्ति तुम्हारी। कष्ट निरावन पढ़ने वाले, हरती रातु हरने वाले, पूत तुम्हारे गणेश। हे देवों के देवो महेश दूर सभी के कर दो कलेश। कौन करेगा तुम में अंतर, तुम सरजत हो तुम प्रणयंकर। सूरज धरती चांद सितारे, सुर मुनि मानव माने सारे, नात तेरे आदेश। हे देवों के देवो महेश दूर सभी के कर दो कलेश। प्रेम हमारे मन तो भर दे, निर्मल हमको ऐसा तो कर दे, हम भूले हर देश। हे देवों के देवो महेश दूर सभी के कर दो कलेश। ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय पाहि मां। ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय पाहि मां। ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय पाहि मां। ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय पाहि मां।
Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Are Gavore Ye Nam Hare Dam. Ye Nam Hare Dam. Jabadaka He Bai Dam Ne Dam. Bai Dam Ne Dam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. He Pralayankar Bhima Bhayankar. He Prabhu Shankar Swami. He Prabhu Shankar Swami. He Vishwevara. He Parameshwara. Ishwara Antarayami. Ishwara Antarayami. Ye Duna He Uttam Anupam. Uttam Anupam. Sarajakaye. Yehi Pita Param. Yehi Pita Param. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Shiva Kam He Deya Daham Ke. Shiva Kanam He Sayam. Shiva Kanam He Sayam. Shiva Ji He Mukti. Shiva Ji He Shakti. Shiva Ji He Bhakti Ka Sayam. Shiva Ji He Bhakti Ka Sayam. Shiva Mahima Matsam Jotam. Matsam Jotam Vikajanyenge. Dunia Kegam. Dunia Kegam. O Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Are Garo Re Ye Nam Hare Dam. Ye Nam Hare Dam. Jabataka He Bai Dam Ne Dam. Bai Dam Ne Dam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. He Pralayankar Bhima Bhayankar. He Prabhu Shankar Swami. He Prabhu Shankar Swami. He Vishwevara. He Parameshwara. Ishwara Antarayami. Ishwara Antarayami. Ye Duna He Uttam Anupam. Uttam Anupam Sarajakaye. Yehi Pita Param. Yehi Pita Param. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Shiva Kam He Deya Dayam Ke. Shiva Kanam He Sayam. Shiva Kanam He Sayam. Shiva Ji He Mukti. Shiva Ji He Shakti. Shiva He Bhakti Ka Sayam. Shiva Ji He Bhakti Ka Sayam. Shiva Mahima Matsam Jotam. Matso Jotam Vikajanyenge. Dunia Kegam. Dunia Kegam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bam 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 Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam.
Devotees, we offer this next prayer for all those suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask that they may have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer a prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. May their passage be a smooth and tranquil one. Om Trayambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarokamiva Bandhanatam Mrityuramukshiyumamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarokamiva Bandhanatam Mrityuramukshiyumamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarokamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmukshiyumamrutat. Om Gangarapati Namaha. Om Kartikeya Namaha. Om Vasuki Namaha. Om Nandishwaraya Namaha. Om Shri Samba Sadha Shivaya Namaham. Om Prem Samara Shiva Shankara Bhagwan Ki Jai. Devotees, for all of us who have a Guru, we offer prayer to our Guru. If not, we take Lord Shiva or any Devata in our mind as our universal Guru, as we join together in prayer. Om Gurura Brahma Gurura Vishnu Gurura Deva Maheshwara Gurura Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Dhyana Moolam Gurura Murti Puja Moolam Gurura Param Mantra Moolam Gurura Bhakyam Moksha Moolam Gurura Kripa Prem Se Guru Guru Deo Ki Jai. Devotees, for all those who have prasad that Yahweh, that you please come forth at this time. We'll take a prasad, hold it in both hands as we offer this prayer. Om Nahai Vidyam Grihitam Deva Bhakti Me Chalam Guru Ipsitam Me Varam Nehi Paratreha Paranyatim Om Idam Palam Maya Deva Snapitam Purhastava Ten Me Sapalavaptir Bhavit Janmani Janmani Om Sarva Papa Haram Dibyam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanam Maya Raktam Grihetam Purushottamam. You offer your prasad to the altar.
नव भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आवो भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आवो भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन भिलनी की बैर सुदाम की तंदुल भिलनी की बैर सुदाम की तंदुल रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन जो कोई तुम्हारा भोग लगावे जो कोई तुम्हारा भोग लगावे सुख संपत्ति खरावे प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन ऐसा भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन ऐसा भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन सब अमृत हो जाए प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन जो कोई ऐसा भोग को खावे जो कोई ऐसा भोग को खावे सब अमृत हो जाए प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ 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 प्यारे मोहन
Devotees, at the time, I ask that we all join together as we commence with our Hawan ceremony. Do you guys have the lighter? Okay. Do you guys know how to use the lighter? You're good? Okay, okay. We'll go ahead and light the Hawan Kund. Om Agni Milip Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Redhvajam Mortaram Ratnadhatamam Agni Devaya Namaham. We offer both our samagri and ghee into the Hawan Kund. Om Prajapate Swaha Idam Prajapate Idam Namama Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Idam Namama Om Maganay Swaha Idam Maganay Idam Namama Om Sumaya Swaha Idam Sumaya Idam Namama Om Bho Swaha Idam Maganay Idam Namama Om Bhuva Swaha Idam Vayo Idam Namama Om Swaha Swaha Idam Suryaya Idam Namama Om Suryaya Namaha Swaha Idam Suryaya Idam Namama Om Chandraya Namaha Swaha. Idam Chandraya Idam Namama. Om Bhaumaya Namaha Swaha. Idam Bhaumaya Idam Namama. Om Bhuthaya Namaha Swaha. Idam Bhuthaya Idam Namama. Om Brihaspate Namaha Swaha. Idam Brihaspate Idam Namama. Om Shukraya Namaha Swaha. Idam Shukraya Idam Namama. Om Shanisharaya Namaha Swaha. Idam Shanisharaya Idam Namama. Om Rahave Namaha Swaha. Idam Rahave Idam Namama. Om Ketave Namaha Swaha. Idam Ketave Idam Namama. Om Ganeshaya Namaha Swaha. Om Mahagauri Namaha Swaha. Om Mahasaraswati Namaha Swaha. Om Mahalakshmi Namaha Swaha. Om Mahadurgai Namaha Swaha. Om Gurue Namaha Swaha. Om Brahmane Namaha Swaha. Om Vishnave Namaha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Ramaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sitaya Namaha Swaha. Om Hanumate Namaha Swaha. Om Krishnaya Namaha Swaha. Om Shivaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namaha Swaha. For this next one, we offer for our ancestors. We offer from the side of our hands as we say Swadha. Om Sarvebhyo Pitribhyo Namaha Swadha. Om Bhuri Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhuri Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhuri Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Take everything together in your hands and please stand as we commence with our final offering known as Purnahoti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamurachyate Purnasya Purnamanaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Hanam Yorating Pratibhyah Vaiswanarambita Ajhatam Aganim Bhavigvam Samrajam Titum Jananam Asana Patram Chanyamte Devam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Puranagam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Puranagam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Puranagam Swaha. We take blessings from Agneta Devata. Om Thanapagani Tanva Me Pahi. Om Haryoragani Saryorame Dehi. Om Varchodagani Sir Varchume Dehi. Om Agneyan Me Tanva Odaram Tanma Pruna. Om Tejavasi Tejamai Dehi. Om Virimasi Virime Dehi. Om Balamasi Balamai Dehi. Om Ojavasi Ojamai Dehi. Om Manyurasi Manyumai Dehi. Om Sahosi Sahomai Dehi. Om Shanti Rastu, Pushti Rastu, Vritti Rastu, Yatapapram Tatipatnastu, Vipere Chatushpere Surashanti Bhavatu Achmanyam. Om Sarva Papaharam Divyam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanamayaratam Grihetam Purushottamam. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Prem Savro Agnira Devata Ki Jai. I know, right? No need for camphor. Devotees, I believe we have a member of our congregation who would like to share a few words of wisdom. So at this time, pass the microphone over to Uncle Walter.
When someone makes a lot of sacrifice and do good for their community, they should be recognized, and that person will be appreciated. Too many times, when a person are no more, then you can hear all the good things of that person. I would like to say this, that Bhai Balram and his family are making a lot of sacrifice for this mandir and community. They leave the forest and are here the earliest and last to leave. On behalf of myself and family and everybody of this mandir, I would like to thank him and his family for all they are doing for this mandir and community. Also, the executive members of the mandir. Thank you all so much. I also have something else to say. Bhavani Shankar Mandir. There is a mandir in Canada by the name of Bhavani Shankar Mandir. Priest name Pandit Hardat. He's a Guyanese. He's about in his 40 years. Every part of the year, be it Ram Navami, Janamashmi, Shivratri, Navratri, they observe at the mandir for 1 week. The Hanuman Jayanti, they chanted the Hanuman Chalisa for 108 times. Presently, they just finished Shravan. And it started at the end of the month, and it almost ended 2 days ago. They observe Shravan almost the whole month. And presently it coincides with Janamashmi for 1 week. The attendance at this mandir, very encouraging. And each night are sponsored by devotees of the mandir. What I would like to point out that you can see not only the pandit making the sacrifice, also he have a full-time job, he work for the bank. But the devotees of the mandir, every single night, encouraging attendance, they go there and observe. Thank you.
Thank you for those words, Uncle Walter. Prem se Bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki. I lost my thing. There it goes. Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran. Srimad Bhagavatam Puran. Devotees, last week when we had finished our sermon from the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, we had finished chapter 14. And in chapter 14 of book 1, we talked about the disappearance of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, which is a very relevant thing because at no point in time were the Pandavas ever told that Bhagwan Shri Krishna had disappeared, yet they could feel it in the world. And I think we equated it towards losing a loved one or losing someone close to you. You can feel the energy in the air change. You can feel the world change around you. So at the very end of that chapter, we heard Arjuna being discussed with Yudhishthir about essentially what happened. Because Arjuna was with Yudhishthir and he was different. You could tell his demeanor had changed. You could tell there was something wrong with him. And we know that just by being human in nature. Can't you tell sometimes when somebody you know really well isn't right? Something's wrong with things, something's off about them. It could be your sibling, it could be your parents. Sometimes you know when somebody's angry and you're like, oh God, I probably shouldn't talk to them today. We've all had those days. We've all had those mornings. We've all had those afternoons, evenings, whatever. But Yudhishthira is asking Arjuna a bunch of questions. What's going on with the kingdom? What's going on with the family? Are you sad because Bhagwan Shri Krishna is gone? At the end of that chapter, we were getting ready for Arjuna's reply. And that takes us into chapter 15, book 1 of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. And that chapter is titled, The Pandavas Retire. Remember, everything that happens in chapter 1, even though book 1 is called, even though chapter 1 is called creation, we're not talking about the creation of something universal. We're talking about the creation of what we deem as a new era. The Mahabharata war has ended. The Pandavas have won. Bhagwan Shri Krishna has now left the world. And we could see things bad that are happening. Suta Goswami now tells the sages that Arjuna looks at Yudhishthir. And Arjuna, the friend of Krishna, who was emaciated because of his separation from Krishna, was subjected to the various forms of doubt and speculation of his elder brother the king. Because of his grief, his mouth and his lotus heart had dried up, and his bodily luster had vanished. Preoccupied with thoughts about the Lord, he was incapable of replying properly. The more he wiped the tears from his eyes with great difficulty, checked the force of his sadness not seeing him anymore, the more he eagerly thought about him and his affection, and the more distressed he became. Remembering him as a well-wisher, benefactor, friend, and charioteer, Arjuna, overwhelmed and heavily breathing, addressed his eldest brother, the king. We're hearing something very important that's going on through Arjuna's heart right now, because we've all experienced it. And that one emotion, that one feeling, that one overwhelming substance that's accumulating and overwhelming Arjuna is known as grief. When somebody passes away in our life, are we able to discuss with other people that passing so easily? When it just happens? Are we able to collectively sit there and have our thoughts together? No, unfortunately. Jack said no. Good job, Jack. I've been to many a funeral, unfortunately. And at that funeral, every single time I go to a funeral, no matter what, there's always going to be a subset of people whose grief overwhelms them and they can't control themselves. And they're screaming the name of that loved one. They feel like they're going to pass out. And then people get angry at them. Anger is not the right way to approach those situations ever. I'll put that down first and foremost. When somebody's experiencing grief, they need consolement. Because what's happening to their soul? What's happening to their mind? It's all over the place. Things are tough to deal with. Back in 2007, 2008, my aunt was passing away from cancer. Do you think I could focus on soccer? Do you think I can focus on my music? Do you think I could focus on band or things that I was doing here on Monday? Not really. Mom and Dad were there every week, almost every week, give or take a couple weeks. But we were still all going through grief. We couldn't focus, we couldn't think, and we needed somebody to talk to. So Arjuna is overwhelmed with grief. He's trying to collect himself. So he collects himself first, and then he decides to address the king. He says, "O great king, Lord Hari in the form of my friend has left me. Now I am bereft of the amazing power that even astonished the gods. I lost him from whom being separated, but for a moment all universes would appear unfavorable and void of all life, like they are dead. By the strength of his mercy, I could vanquish the power of all lusty princes during the selection of the bridegroom at the king Draupadi's palace, where I gained Draupadi's hand by piercing the fish target with my bow. With him at my side, I was able to defeat Indra with his godly associates and could thus enable the gods to fire to set ablaze his forest. With his support, we could realize our wonderfully built assembly house that was designed by Maya, where all the princes assembled to your honor, bringing presents collected from all directions. Under his influences, our younger brother, who has the strength of 1,000 elephants, managed to kill, whose feet were worshipped by the heads of many kings he wanted to sacrifice. It was he who saved the kings. They all pay tribute afterwards. He's protected us when we run into trouble, being endangered in the forest. The moment the sage arrived to eat with his 10,000 disciples, he, by simply accepting the remnants of the food before they did, satisfied the three worlds, and also the Munis. He did that at the time they were bathing, by giving them the thought that they had been fed already. I would keep going. These are all separate stories that I'd like to cover at some point. But Bhagwan Krishna had completed so many feats in his lifetime, and those were being recognized by Arjuna. And again, this is part of a stage of grief that we see. You're so overwhelmed with the thought of that person that all you do is think about them. And even when you try to discuss them, sometimes you tend to lose your sense of control and you just keep talking and talking and talking and talking. And grief will do that to you. Sadness will do that to you. You lose source of control, sense. You've ever heard somebody giving a speech during a funeral? You'll see that they start to break down and cry. It happens every time because the grief overwhelms them. Because of his friendship alone, I, seated on the chariot, could cross the insurmountable ocean of the military strength of the Kauravas. Thanks to his friendship only, I could return with enormous wealth of the enemy, the brilliance of all the jewels I, by force, took from their heads. O king, remembering how he, with a smiling face, made jokes, was frank with me, and addressed me with the son of Prita, Arjuna, my friend, and son of the Kuru dynasty, and such my soul is overwhelmed by these heartfelt words of Mahadev. O Emperor, without the Supreme Personality, my dear most friend and well-wisher, my heart and soul are vacant. Recently I, just like a weak person, was defeated by infidel cowherds while I was protecting Krishna's wives. Having the same bows, arrows, chariots, and horses, I am the same Arjuna and chariot fighter to whom all kings offer their respects. But with him absent, all of this in a single moment has become as useless as butter offered to ashes, as money obtained by magic, or as seeds sown on a barren land. O king, in reply to your question about your friends and relatives in Dwarka, I can tell you that they lost their minds, being cursed by the Brahmins. Being drunk with rice wine, they killed one another with sticks, not even recognizing each other. In that intoxicated state, only 4 or 5 of them remained. In general, it is the program of the Supreme Personality, our Lord, that sometimes the living beings kill one another, and at other times protect each other, like in the ocean, where the bigger creatures eat the small ones, and the stronger devour the weaker, O king. The omnipotent one, in this stroke, removed the burden of all the Yadus from the earth by having the stronger Yadu in a fight kill the weaker one, and the bigger Yadu kill the smaller one. Bearing in mind the words spoken by Govinda, I remember how attractive they are and how they, imbued with importance and appropriate time and circumstances, put an end to the pain in the heart. I'm bereft because of the loss of my friend. But that wasn't the only question you asked me. You asked me what's going on with the kingdom. The loss of my friend, the loss of that omnipotent one, the loss of Bhagwan Sri Krishna has turned the world not for the best. People are turning on each other and killing each other with the word that was translated with sticks. I think they probably meant something along the lines more of spears and swords. But they're getting intoxicated. They're losing their sense of righteousness. They're losing their sense of faith, and they're turning one another because they're living in this world of Maya illusion. They're consuming negative things, tamasic and rajasic sorts of liquids and foods, turning on one another, killing one another. The age of enlightenment, the age of light, the age of good is gone. We're now moving into a world of darkness. So what happened when Bhagwan Sri Krishna passed away? We went from one period to the next. Go ahead, Uncle Chris. Okay. And we moved into Kali Yuga. So there was a curse. In each age, there's 4 different ages that we respect in Sanatana Dharma. Kali Yuga is the longest. Each age out of the 4 is double the length of the previous one. I don't know the exact number. I don't know if you know the exact number. 444,000 years. So I don't know where we are in that one. I have to look back at my book. I didn't prepare for that specific date. But we're in 444,000 years of darkness. And when you look around, you can see it. Sometimes those people who are supposed to be leading us, protecting us, pushing us into the future, ensuring that our wealth, our prosperity are protected, do that by means that aren't so bright, so light, so beneficial. We turn on each other at the turn of a dime. We talk about politics. We talk about things like religion and sex, and we turn on one another. Our minds tend to degrade. So he says we're in this weird, very dark time period. Sutta Goswami then said, thus thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord and what he had instructed in the intimacy of their deep friendship, Arjuna, with his mind freed from all material concerns, found his calm. Arjuna had one benefit that we as followers of Sanatana Dharma didn't have at the time. He directly heard the words of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. So his grief was overcoming him. He was rambling on, going on, talking about his friend and the loss of his friend. And then what did he remember at the end of all that after he told his Yudhishthira about what was going on in the kingdom? Bhagwan Shri Krishna told me to control my senses, to control my heart, control my soul, control my mind, control my body, and remain calm. Constantly remembering the feet of Vasudeva, Arjuna's devotion increased rapidly so that the endless ruminations ended. He again thought of the spiritual instructions of the Supreme Lord gave in the midst of the battlefield. By thinking of his time and actions, he dispelled the darkness of his ignorance and became the master of his senses, freed from lamentation by his spiritual capacity, managing to cut with the doubts that were raised by the duality of being identified with the material world. He, due to transcendence of being without material form, was freed from the entanglement of birth and death. Grief is very hard for us to overcome. I think this is how I summarize this chapter personally. I'll get to the Pandavas retiring here in a second. Grief is difficult for us to overcome. Sadness, loss, those are all things that are very difficult for us to overcome. What's important at the end of the day is that we don't let loss consume us. I've seen it happen to multiple different people. You lose somebody very important in your life, and then you feel like your life is over. Your life is ended. If you still have breath in this material world, you still have a duty you need to perform. You still have a duty you need to achieve. And that's not something you can give up. Am I telling you to get over grief fast? No, I'm not. Everybody takes their own time to process. But what I am telling you is that it's something you have to get over. You have to talk to someone about it. You have to process it. If you lose control of your mind, you lose control of your senses. And if you lose control of your senses, you lose control of yourself. For me, there's one thing that I always try to focus on in the hardest of times and even in the best of times. And I want you to pay attention because I do this every week when I come and sit back down here after I go do my Lord Shiva prayer. I sit down, I put my hand on my harmonium, and I go, and then I start praying again. I maintain control by breathing. Yishin, you play sports. Can you play sports without breathing properly? No. No. Breathing is key. It's essential. It helps us control ourselves. What do you do after you have a real big cry session? We've all had big cry sessions before. Nobody can't say they haven't. What makes you feel better after you're done crying? Even kids do it. I don't know why I'm crying. Are you okay? I'm okay now. If you control your mind and you control your senses, you'll be able to overcome anything. But at the end of the day, what I'm telling you to do in order to overcome any anxiety in your life, I want you to breathe. I guarantee you, and even though they didn't say it here, I think that's what Arjuna did. That's what I do to control myself, at least. We're all going to have something that makes us tick differently. That's my choice. Breathe. Makes you feel better, I promise. But we end the chapter, because I wanted to go through the entire chapter, of Arjuna telling Yudhishthira, this is exactly what happened. But in the midst of the court of Yudhishthira, they all saw Arjuna go from grief to calmness, and then they saw his demeanor change. Because at that point in time, what happened to Arjuna? He let go, it says. He let go, and he was freed from the lamentation by his spiritual capacity managing to cut with the doubts that were raised by the duality of being identified with the material world. He, due to transcendence of being without a material form, was freed from the entanglement of birth and death. At that point in time, what did Arjuna achieve? After losing his distress. Who said it? Shani said it. Moksha. he realized enlightenment. Has anybody here ever seen somebody attain enlightenment? I don't think so. But I can only imagine it's probably one of the more beautiful things in this world. We know people who have calm and collective souls. So Yudhishthir and his court were listening. And they listened to the deliberations about the end of the Yadu dynasty and the disappearance of the Supreme Lord to his abode, undisturbed within, made up his mind to leave in favor of the way of heaven. Now, Yudhishthir saying, I'm giving it up and I'm going into the ways of heaven. He's not committing suicide. That's not what's happening here. He's not giving up his life. He's still living his duty, because when we retire, and I hear this a lot from my in-laws sometimes, I don't know what I'm going to do when I retire. I hear that from friends. I hear that from colleagues. I don't know what I'm going to do when I retire. What is something that we can still do when we're done working, supporting for our family, providing, trying to earn money? Huh? Live your life. Do whatever you want. Take some time to focus, to breathe, but also take some time to practice those things that we never got to do when we were younger. How many of us are perfect at meditating? How many of us are perfect at focusing on Bhagwan the entire time we're here at Mandir? How many of us have the mental capacity? I keep covering the receiver. How many of us have the mental capacity to sing a bhajan all the way through but focus on Bhagwan the entire time? Something as simple as that. I don't. I can't. I tried doing it this morning, and for some reason I started thinking about my dog. There's a story behind that, but I won't go into that today. So my mind can't stay steady. So we can take time to practice. The Queen Kunti, who had overheard what Arjuna told about the end of the Yadus and the disappearance of the Lord, found, absorbed in the soul, a release from her material existence and pure devotion unto the Lord, who was now fully situated beyond the senses, by taking away from the world the burden constituted by the body of the Yadu dynasty, the unborn Lord equal in his control, rejected both the thorn that was removed and the thorn that was used for its removal. Just like with his Matsya incarnation and other incarnations, like a magician giving up one body in order to accept another, he relinquished the body by which he relieved the burden of the world. When Mukunda, the Lord of liberation, the fortunate one, so worthwhile to hear about, left this earth, from that day on, Kali Yuga manifested itself in full, the age so inauspicious to all who ignorance are not in control of their minds. It's more important for us now than ever to control our minds. Kali Yuga means the age of darkness, but surmounted here in the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, it means it's an age where we don't control our minds. We've lost focus. We've lost what it means to be on the path of Sanatana Dharma. When you're on a path, should you ever stray from that path? Maybe. Possibly. Depends on the deviation that we're taking. It depends on what we're doing. If you're on the road to education, should you let that derail you? You shouldn't. There may be things in this world that change our duties and our obligations. That's true. But because of the age that we live in, because of the times that we get to settle in, we're used to those deviations. We're used to those awkward paths that we have to take, those roundabout ways we have to take to get there. We tend to lose control of ourselves and our minds quite frequently. Sometimes for some of us, it's on a daily basis. It's on a daily basis. And we don't think it is, but it is. Your homework for this week. I'm giving you easy homework this week. At least I hope it's easy. I want you to sit down and focus on breathing for 5 minutes a day, every day until next Sunday. Now, when I say focus on breathing, that doesn't mean turn music on. That doesn't mean go sit in front of the TV. That doesn't mean that you should drive and breathe at the same time. Well, drive and breathe at the same time. Don't, you know what I'm saying here. I want you to focus solely on that with no other disturbances around you. And I want you to put a timer on. And I want you to see how long you focus on breathing before your mind wandered. And you want to know what that's called? Your starting point for improvement. Try to increase that time going forward and forward. Start off with 5 minutes. And if you think 5 minutes is short, oh, be ready. You're going to realize how long 5 minutes of breathing is once you start it. Note of warning, don't look at your watch while you're doing it because it makes it feel longer. Any child knows that. That's your homework for this week. Focus on breathing. Try to control your mind, control your senses, and try to pull yourself out of this age of Kali Yuga. Prem se bol Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki. Devotees, may we all please stand for final arati.
Jagadish Hare. Swami Jai Jagadish Hare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Swami Jai Jagadish Hare. Bhakta Jano ke sankat, Bhakta Jano ke sankat, Jana me dura kare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Jodave palapave dukha binase manaka. Swami dukha binase manaka. Sukha sampati gare ave, Sukha sampati gare ave, Sashtami te tanaka. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Mata Pita Tuma Mere Sharanagaho Kisaki. Swami Sharanagaho Kisaki. Tuma Bina Rana Dusha, Tuma Bina Rana Dusha, Asakra Roje Saki. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Tuma Purana Paramatma, Tuma Antarayami. Swami Tuma Antarayami. Para Brahma Parameshwar, Para Brahma Parameshwar, Tuma Sabake Swami. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Tuma Karuna ke sagar, Tuma Palana Karata. Swami Tuma Palana Karata. My Moraka Kalakami, my Sevaka Tuma Swami, Kripa Karo Bharata. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Tuma eka ogochar, sabake pranapati. Swami sabake pranapati. Kesabeda mela odayame, kumabis mela odayame, tumako mai kumati. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Dina Bandhu Dukha Harata, Thakura Tuma Mere. Swami Thakura Tuma Mere. Apane hata utavo, apane hata utavo, Dwara Paratere. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Vishaya Vikara Mitavo, Papo Haro Deva. Swami Papo Haro Deva. Shraddha Bhakti Badhavo, Shraddha Bhakti Badhavo, Sanatana ki seva. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nata Narayan Vasudeva Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai.
I want you to be aware of what I'm about to tell you does not count as your 5 minutes. Go ahead and clasp your hands. Close your eyes. And I want you to void your mind of all thoughts, all worldly notions, all material attachments, all negative aspects. Remove any darkness from your heart, your mind, and your soul. We start off by breathing. You take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way to the top. And as you exhale, relax your spine. Drop your shoulders. Relax your neck, your head, your entire body. While you continue to breathe and with your eyes closed, I want you to focus on a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you. One that helps you focus and one that helps you concentrate. And join together with me as you chant these closing prayers. Sarvesham swasti bhavatu, sarvesham shanti bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Om sarve sukhino bhavantu, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschita dukha bhag bhavet. Om mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janardanam yatya pujatam maya neva paripurnam dharastu me. Papoham papu karamaham papo atma papu sambhava trahimam bhundari kaksham sarva papo haru hari. Om tvameva matas chapitha tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Om asato ma sadhamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityo ma mritam gamaya. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Devotees, may we all please bow. Om Gurura Brahma Gurura Vishnu Gurura Deo Maheshwara Gurura Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Dhyav Shantir Antariksham Shantir Prithvi Shantir Apa Shantir Aushadheya Shantir Vanaspati Shantir Vishwadeva Shantir Brahma Shantir Sarvengvam Shantir Shantir Eva Shanti Sama Shanti Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Prem se bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki, Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Durga Mata ki, Prem se bolo Vishnu Bhagwan ki, Prem se bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki, Prem se bolo Shiva Shakti Mandir ki. You got one time. Here we go. Prem se bolo Sanatana Dharma ki. There we go. Jack was looking like right at me. He was going for it. Good job, Jack. Jack, did your back hurt from carrying the team? With that, devotees, we have come to the end of our Sunday morning satsang for today, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here. Before I pass the microphone over to our president for a few announcements, just a few things. This past Thursday, on August 11th, we celebrated the period known as Raksha Bandhan. I don't have my Rakhi yet because Sue had to mail it to me, so I'm hoping, Mom... Oh, when I come Thursday, so I'm not getting it today. It's okay. But that was on Thursday, August 11th. This Thursday, August 18th, devotees will be celebrating Krishna Janmashtami. We didn't have anybody sign up for Janmashtami this year. And with it being on a Thursday and a lot of different logistics we're trying to work out, we're going to be making it virtual this year instead of doing it in person here at the Mandir. Again, we just don't have anybody signed up. Nobody's sponsoring for that day either. So we will be starting at 7 p.m. on Thursday. We'll be live on the YouTube channel. We'll be doing a puja. I think it's going to be mostly Mahendra and I, maybe Mal and I. Two people, myself and somebody else will be doing puja. We'll go over the story of the birth of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. But again, that'll be on 7 o'clock. Is okay for you guys, right? 7 o'clock on Thursday, August, 18th. If you hear somebody crying in the background, it's not my dad, it's the baby, because I'll have her with me, so just be forewarned on that one. And then on Tuesday, August 30th, we'll have Shri Ganesh Chaturthi. Those are the only events that we have in the month of August. I'll go over the ones that are in September as we get a little bit closer to those time periods. But we will still have a few things that we're going to be doing throughout the year as the year goes on. But just know that for this Thursday, August 18th at 7 o'clock, we will be starting our Krishna Janmashtami Puja live on our YouTube channel. I got to stop blocking the receiver because that's why it cuts out. With that being said, devotees, I have no other announcements. Somebody texted me, what's the story about Bella? We went to my in-laws' house yesterday and we were sorting through clothes, Serena's grandfather's old clothes. And if you don't know, her grandfather was the first person she has ever lost in her life, including family and friends and stuff. So her grandfather was the first person she ever lost. We were going through some clothes because Serena wanted to keep a sweater and a pair of pants. And so she kept the pants, and we got home and we left Bella at home that day. And for some reason, Bella kept disappearing and going off and disappearing. When I'd call her, she'd come back, and she'd go off and disappear, and I'd call her and she'd come back. And this went on for about 2 hours. Bella stole the pants, went upstairs, and she was laying in them and just smelling them, because Bella never got a chance to say goodbye to Grandpa before he passed. We wanted to take her to the hospice. And so that made Serena cry, because Bella had this pair that smelled like Grandpa, because when we went to the house last week, and she ran around the entire house looking for Grandpa, looking for Grandpa, looking for Grandpa. I think so why she ran into the garden and came back into the house. So that's the story behind Bella. That's why I was thinking about Bella this morning, because I was praying, and I was trying. Every morning I pray. The dog is fine. I go back out as I get done praying, and there's Bella with a pair of pants again. So that's what I was thinking about as I was singing my song this morning. I mean, she likes the pants. She likes it. It's not like I can't wear those pants. I'm not Grandpa's size. So with that being said, devotees, I have no other announcements. So hope you all have a safe, wonderful, happy, healthy week to every single one of you. Jai Sita Ram. Considering how our president in training is sitting here, and our president in training is sitting here, they can't give announcements. So I guess I'll hand it over to our regular president. You're just regular today for a few more extra announcements.
Sita Ram. So the president in training can, as soon as you finish, you could come and say a couple of words, right? The president in training. Sita Ram, everybody. Thank you all for being here this morning. How many of you know what year Guyana got her independence from the British? No? 66. 66. So we celebrated our 56th independence anniversary. Jamaica received their independence in 1962. And so they celebrated their last week was the actual Independence Day, August 6th. Last night, the Atlanta Jamaican Association had a big celebration of their independence, and also they were going to award a number of scholarships to kids moving on to college. So Nedra and I was there. There were somewhere about 700 people in the audience. Everybody from politicians to business people, from the medical field to the technology field, and everything in between. And those that, are influential in the community, those that are trying to bring others up in the community. And it was amazing for me to sit there and look at this Jamaican Association and their cooperation and how well they bonded together. Yeah, they have their problems too, but overall coming together to celebrate their independence and support each other. So we were, it was a pleasant thing for me to witness. We had the airport had about 3 tables out there, so we were part of it and enjoy some reggae music and, taking some picture. I took about 400 pictures with Nidra because she was not satisfied with any of those, so she's giving me the eye. So, now, but it was a really, really good evening. Today happened to be a day 40 years ago, exactly today, and I was thinking about this morning when someone migrated out of Guyana. How many of you have gone to Guyana at least 2 times or more? Those of you that were born in Guyana. Even those that were not born in Guyana. How many of you that left Guyana have gone back to Guyana at least 2 times or more? All of you. Chris, how many times you went back? 1 time. By Walter, how many times you went back? About 1,400 times? 20 times. Nidra left Guyana 40 years ago today. 40 years ago today, and she never went back to Guyana. So when you all see her, shame her a little bit, because next year March I'm taking her so she could go visit her country again. And she went all over the world, but she never went back to Guyana. So she's gonna go to Guyana and get May. No, May. Okay. And I want a mosquito. Is that mosquito time in May? Plenty mosquito? Good. I want him to really bite her up really bad. Good. June? No, we can't go in June. Okay. Yeah. I do not have anyone that celebrated any birthday or any special anniversary or anything last week. Anybody? We got some big occasion coming up this week, and I hope that we do get an invite to go to the beach or something like that to celebrate, milestone. Anybody hitting president in training? Anybody hitting a milestone this year or this week? What's his milestone? Oh, you're not going to point to your grandma, huh? Or your glamorous grandma, huh? Okay. All right, so we do have Bhojan. Please, after Arti and Panchamrit, please stay back and take partake in Bhojan. Again, just as a reminder, Christian German Shmi will be done virtually. There's a number of reasons for that, and but I think it will be most fitting for us to do it virtually this year because of a number of reasons. So hope to see you all via virtual on Thursday at 7 p.m. sharp. Mr. President in training, you have anything to say?